Kia ora Year 12. This is the second video looking at how we use the binomial theorem to do approximations. This time we're going to find a cubic approximation for this expression here. So step one is to get it into the right form to use the binomial theorem. And we need to have it in this form. 1 plus x, or 1 plus something, to the power of n is equal to 1 plus nx plus n times n minus 1 over 2 factorial times x squared, and we're just going to do a cubic approximation, so we can stop when we get to this term as long as I change the equal sign, get rid of that, and change it to this. Right, so I'm just going to go as far as those first terms. We need to figure out for which values of x it's valid. So we can still work with what we've got. We've got 1 plus 3x to the power of negative a half. So my n has got no dramas. And here I'm working with 3x. So what that means is wherever I see x, I'm going to replace the x with 3x. And I have to be super careful when I do that I'm going to have 3x all squared and 3x all cubed. So everywhere you see an x, you're going to replace it with 3x in brackets. Now that also affects the validity of the approximation, because here this one is valid for x being between negative 1 and 1. So when I switch to 3x instead of x, my condition for convergence is going to be that the absolute value of 3x is less than 1. So we can do that, but now taking the 3 outside, we get this, and so now we have the absolute value of x is strictly less than 1/3. So that's my condition on validity. So that answers that part of the question already. Now let's do the cubic approximation. So 1 plus 3x, the negative half, is roughly 1, plus negative a half times 3x. That's the first bit. Plus negative half times negative 3 over 2 over 2 factorial times 3x all squared. And the last term is going to be, sorry, I think it skipped there. The last term is going to be this. I'm going to have negative a half times negative 3 over 2 times negative 5 over 2 times my 3x cubed, and that's going to be over 3 factorial. So now we're going to clean that up. Switch to green pen, just to keep things exciting. 1 minus 3 over 2x. Right, checking my sign first. 2 negatives, so it's going to be plus. Now we're going to have 3 in the numerator, 3 times 9x squared over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then the last term, I'm going to have minus, well, it's going to be minus 15 times 3 times 3 squared. I'm just anticipating some cancelling happening here. So 3 cubed there. Right, so that's my top line. Down here I'm going to have 2 times 2 times 2. So 8 times 3 times 2 x cubed. Right, so just be careful when you're working with these little fractions. They're simple, but they're pretty easy to muck up. I'm going to clean that up now. And I'm going to try and do this on one slide, so I'm going to put it up the top. So what does that equal? So it equals 1 minus 3 over 2x plus 27 over 8x squared. Now what cleanup happens here? Well, I'm going to have 15 nines over 16. So 15 nines gives me 135 over 16 times x cubed. Okay, so that's my cubic approximation for that expression there, and we've done the validity check. It was this thing here. So the new thing in this, just in case you're still watching, because I know most of you stop after 2 minutes, is this idea here that I don't have to have 1 plus x. I can pretty easily work with 1 plus something else. So that knocks off one of the issues. The next video is going to be where I change the 1 plus to 2 plus or 3 plus and so on. Thanks for watching.